According to former Deputy Prime Minister and leader of the People's Action Movement, Sean Richards, his diplomatic passport was deactivated while he was away in the United States, but a recent press release from the Ministry of National Security denies this is the case. Richards commented on the matter while speaking at the opening of the PAM Constituency No. 2 office for Central Bastille on 13th May 2022 as the party prepares for early general elections on St. Kitts and Nevis.
I'm a sensible man, you know. I have a U.S. visa. And I always say to people, I ain't applying for no visa in a diplomatic passport. Because nobody gonna take back the diplomatic passport, and when they take it back, they take back the visa with it. Where's a good thing I do that? So the visa in the next passport, the morning when I got to the airport, I give them the diplomatic passport. I say, Mr. I think this year works still, you know. I don't think he works still. But swipe it, they tell me what he say. When the man done swipe it, he watch it. He watch the system. He said, let me go and call my supervisor. I said, no, you're not going to call a supervisor. I said, why it is happening? He said, I've never seen this message before. This passport is no longer federally eligible to travel on. I say, here, you use this passport, you're okay? And I give him the regular passport. Because maybe they thought I would have been stuck in the US. But I'm smarter than them. I'm smarter than them. And it is only a matter of time before I return to office as the next Prime Minister of this country.
The following day, 14th May, the Ministry of National Security, that is responsible for issuing and recalling passport, issued a press release. It refuted Richard's statements. It reads in part, quote, the Ministry of National Security hereby informs the general public that none of the diplomatic passports of the 6 former ministers of government have been deactivated by the ministry. Neither has any passport of a former minister been barred by the ministry from being used for international travel, end quote. The 6 ministers of government from PAM and CCM had their ministerial portfolios revoked after they had informed the Governor-General they no longer supported Dr. Timothy Harris as Prime Minister. The 6 also lodged a motion of no confidence against Harris with the Speaker of the National Assembly. Harris dissolved Parliament before the motion was heard. Glenn Bart reporting for Skn Newsline.
Jesus Valdez has once again escaped police custody. According to police, Valdez is again being sought by police and prison officials after yet another daring escape from prison Monday morning. He is currently and actively being sought by security personnel, including the police and defense force, as well as prison officers. Anyone who sees Jesus Valdez should report him immediately to the police. It was just 2 weeks ago that police reported catching Valdez after he escaped custody in April. The 20-year-old was caught on Market Street after he escaped custody on assault charges on April 14th. Details of how Valdez escaped police custody then have not been forthcoming, and it is hard to imagine the circumstances that could allow him to escape a second time only 2 weeks after being recaptured. Skn Newsline will continue to monitor this story. Meanwhile, in another police report, police are conducting investigation into a suspected drowning incident involving 52-year-old Dashnell Harvey of Dieppe Bay. Not much details have been released at this time, except that the incident occurred on Friday, May 13th at 9 a.m. Skn Newsline will provide more information as it becomes available. I'm Andre Huey for Skn Newsline. When visiting St. Martin, you want clean, affordable accommodations. You need Midtown Motel in the heart of Phillipsburg, a place where you can relax, take a stroll on Great Bay Beach, and that provides you easy access to great shopping. Midtown Motel, located on Front Street, Phillipsburg, St. Martin. Call Midtown Motel at 721-542-0614 and book your stay today.
The Skn Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
Come get your fresh smoothie at Master Mix Smoothie in Bastyr at 2 locations, the Bastyr Public Market or under the arch at the National Museum. Get a fresh, all-natural, healthy and tasty smoothie with flavors of your choice. Master Mix Smoothie knows the flavors that you like and mixes it all up for you the way you want it. Master Mix Smoothie, 2 locations, the Bastyr Public Market or under the arch at the National Museum. Master Mix Smoothie, always the real thing, always smoothie.
Nestled between evergreen mountains and the Caribbean Sea on the island of St. Kitts is the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center. With breathtaking views, a rugged, beautiful shoreline, and immaculate manicured gardens make this the perfect location for your holiday, event, or wedding. With a large convention center, apartments with balconies providing stunning views, and a secluded cottage for larger family groups or honeymooning couples looking for some privacy. We have something for everyone. Book your stay at www.millhouseskn.com or visit our Facebook page, the Millhouse Guest House and Convention Center, an oasis of tranquility.
With an election looming due to the current political crisis in the Federation, there has been much debate as to whether another solution could have been found. There are some, like Premier Mark Brantley, who argued that the Governor-General could have acquiesced to the request of the then 6 members of Cabinet to remove the Prime Minister and appoint Deputy Prime Minister Sean Richards as his replacement. In his view, this would have avoided an election.
But before we wrote to the GG, we got advice. We took advice in the United Kingdom from a Queen's Counsel there. I don't mind disclosing his name, Sir Geoffrey Robertson QC, senior constitutional lawyer, who gave us advice and told us that the GG had the authority, on his advice, once he was satisfied that the person as Prime Minister no longer commanded a majority of elected members, that the GG could do what was necessary, because the GG had an ongoing obligation to be satisfied throughout the term that the person in the chair of Prime Minister always had the support of a majority of members.
The Governor-General, in response, said he was legally unable to do so. The opposition St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party agrees. Prior to the Governor-General's response, leader of the Labour Party, Dr. Terence Drew, in a statement, said the Governor-General could only have removed the Prime Minister before the first meeting of the National Assembly after an election.
The closest scenario to the present situation that is entertained in the Constitution is laid out in subsection 7 of section 52, which allows for the removal of the Prime Minister, if and only if it happens before the first sitting of Parliament after the appointment arising from a general election. It has also almost been 2 years since the last general elections in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The Prime Minister, not wanting a motion of no confidence to succeed against him, opted to have Parliament dissolved, with a date for fresh elections to be announced. Skn Newsline sought the views of former parliamentarian and leader of government business in the National Assembly, Sam Conda.
My understanding of the matter is that the Governor-General did not have the constitutional authority. He wasn't based on good constitutional principles, our Constitution, to remove the Prime Minister and replace him with another of the members. But that is why I think people suggested that the motion of no confidence was the only way of removing the Prime Minister.
Mr. Brantley may have been relying on Chapter 5, Section 52 of the Constitution to support his claim that the Prime Minister could have been removed. This section says, quote, "Whenever the Governor-General has occasion to appoint a Prime Minister, he shall appoint a representative who appears to him likely to command the support of the majority of the representatives. End quote. Brantley is arguing that if the Prime Minister no longer enjoys majority support, then that is grounds for his removal from the post. But in the same section of the Constitution, in reference to the removal of Prime Minister, it explains the following. The Governor-General shall remove the Prime Minister from office if a resolution of no confidence in the government is passed by the National Assembly and the Prime Minister does not within 3 days either resign from his office or advise the Governor-General to dissolve Parliament. It also says, if at any time between holding of a general election of representatives and the first meeting of the National Assembly thereafter, the Governor-General considers that in consequence of changes in the membership of the Assembly resulting from that election, the Prime Minister will not be able to command the support of the majority of the representatives. The Governor-General may remove the Prime Minister from office. As it stands, the first meeting of the National Assembly took place almost 2 years ago, to date. It appears a motion of no confidence was the only option available to the 6 members of Parliament to have the Prime Minister removed from office. But his powers allows him to advise for the dissolution of Parliament, an option Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris used. Andre Huey, Skn Newsline. If you're looking for a place to host that special event, conference, meeting, social event, party, whatever the occasion, your best option is the Millhouse Convention Center, Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Located on the picturesque Garvey's Estate, the Millhouse Guesthouse Convention Center has enough space for outdoor events overlooking the Caribbean Sea. If you're looking indoors, the center is equipped with amenities needed to make your event a success. And by combining both spaces, you're sure to have a memorable event, no matter the occasion. Call the offices at Millhouse Guesthouse and Convention Center to book your next event on simply the most beautiful place in St. Kitts. Call 668-1392. Millhouse Convention Center at Garvey's Estate, Palmetto Point, St. Kitts. Making your event memorable. It's the new and improved Skn Newsline Android mobile app. With the Skn Newsline app, you can watch your news reports, the Skn Newsline Newscast, sports, special features, and so much more. You can also send us a WhatsApp or call us directly. Go in the Google Play Store, search Skn Newsline, and download the app today. The Skn Newsline mobile app. News on the go.
An open interactive event can be described as
tremendous, effective,
on par with any conference around the world.
From exhibitions to trade shows, corporate events to product launches, from press events to political functions. We are the secret sauce behind events that make you go, wow. We've staged multiple world-class events in the Caribbean and developed the skill to deliver quality in every detail, whether the event is live or fully virtual, or maybe even somewhere in between. At Open Interactive, we got your events covered. Get your free quotation today at www.madebyopen.com.
We have said that the number of fees that are charged to students in school are illegal because the law says what should happen as it relates to school fees. Education is still supposed to be free. Education is still supposed to be a right of every citizen of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
That was Minister for Education Emmeline Pear speaking out on the issue of school fees in Grenada, saying that despite various discussions with the various schools, they still went ahead and increased fees without taking the proper steps. She explained that asking parents to pay a certain amount of money for graduation fee, whether or not the student goes to the ball, is outrageous and does not settle well with government.
We have started to take the steps to address and to regularize the issue of school fees in Grenada. Every school cannot decide on their own how much they charge poor people, children, to enter school. It must be regularized. And it's not just it must be, it will be regularized under NNP administration. The consultation has ended, and your government is about to make a decision in the interest of parents of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique.
The minister says that in recent times, the government has been blamed for the increase in fees on political platforms to create chaos between parents and the government.
But I say tonight, nobody must use this subject as a political football, trying to give the impression that school fees are determined by the Cabinet of Grenada. This is absolutely false. Because some people who feel they're bright and they're smart are giving the impression that parents must come out and protest. Everything is protest because we want to create disorder in this country. Things are going too well.
For GBN News, I am Rena Per Thomas reporting.
Chamber of Commerce, Richard Wallace, says the rising cost of food items is significantly affecting hotels in the area. Mr. Wallace argues that hotels may soon have to increase prices to cushion the effects, even as they look forward to a booming summer. Now, Vashon Brown was in Negril, Westmoreland, and now reports.
The summer is shaping up to be very good, and we're very excited about that.
Optimism in the tourism sector after a recent announcement that Emirates Airline has forged a new partnership with Jamaica, allowing customers to book flights to the island. It's a partnership that is expected to open up the Jamaican market to the Middle East, with links to Asia and North Africa. Jamaica is the first Caribbean destination to enter into such an arrangement with airlines in the Middle East. But even with great expectations for the summer, concerns.
Now, with growing concerns about food prices, stakeholders here in Negril, Westmoreland say they worry about what that might mean for the tourism sector. In fact, some stakeholders say they're already seeing the effects of price increases.
There are some food items that are either hard to get or very expensive, too expensive for us to consider. Some items like oxtail, we had to take it off our menu because it was so expensive. And by the time you price it, you know, it would be out of the reach of most of our consumers. I understand that chicken wing, chicken breast, stuff like that, simple things like that are hard to come by. Fish, you know, lobster, stuff like that. The prices are ridiculous.
Mr. Wallace says the hotels in Negril have been absorbing the increase in prices for quite some time, and now they're not sure how much longer they can do so.
Cost of vacations are going to increase because all the inputs are increasing. So there's no way it's definitely going to happen.
So you've spoken with others, I'm sure, within this sector, and what level of increase do they see they might have to pass on to people?
I haven't been told any figures. You know, we're watching the situation. You know, there are many different hotels in Negril that have different target markets. So the price points are different. So I suspect, you know, everyone will adjust based on their market and their price points.
Electricity bills have gone up significantly due to the Ukraine-Russia war. The government has so far committed to paying 20% of electricity costs for more than 350,000 Jamaicans from May to August 2022. But hoteliers say they too are feeling the effects of rising utility bills.
I've noticed that some of the larger properties are switching to solar or putting in solar plants, and so because it is a factor, and something needs to be done about it. Absolutely, we cannot continue to just absorb increased prices for electricity and water, you know, non-stop. It cannot. It's not sustainable.
Reporting from Western Jamaica, I'm Vashon Brown for TVJ News.
Not much appears to keep this child down. From their home in North Korea, this boy's father says he's just getting over COVID-19.
For kids, they tend to move a lot, even if they have a fever, so they just run around and play for 30 minutes.
The nation is experiencing what local media are calling an explosive outbreak. Until last week, Pyongyang didn't admit anything was wrong. Now, it's reporting dozens of people have died. On Sunday, the country's leader Kim Jong-un made it known he's taking the matter seriously, visiting pharmacies and wearing a mask in public, something he rarely did before. The World Health Organization offered inoculations last year, but Kim rejected it. Earlier that day, he held the third cabinet meeting in 1 week to create an action plan against the rampant spread of the virus. There, Kim criticized government officials for their handling of the crisis, saying state drugs were not reaching people fast enough and most pharmacies were in poor condition.
We have shifted from the previous quarantine-oriented system to a treatment-oriented system. The most important thing in this switch is the thorough control of the situation.
Although South Korea considers its northern neighbor a nuclear threat, its new president has offered to help.
If North Korea responds, we will spare no medicines, including COVID-19 vaccines, medical equipment, and health personnel.
So far, the most isolated nation on earth has refused outside help, leaving many relying on painkillers to battle the effects of COVID-19. But even those seem to be in short supply. Laura Bowden-Manley, Al Jazeera.
The Charlestown Primary School won the first ever Rams Relay Primary School Championship held at the Kim Collins Stadium. Charlestown copped a total of 13 medals, 6 gold, 4 silver and 3 bronze. Second place went to the Dr. William Connor Primary School with 3 gold, 4 silver and 1 bronze, and the Sandy Point Primary School with 2 gold, 4 silver and 1 bronze. President of Skn Athletics, Delwayne Delaney, was very pleased with the response to the first scholastic athletic meet on St. Kitts since the COVID-19 lockdowns of 2020.
Exceed expectation. I mean, you can see the crowd turnout. I mean, we had just all persons from now entering not only the King Collins stand but also the middle stand. The grounds have built up nicely. We're getting lovely track and field action. What more you could ask for? I mean, entertainment, enjoyment, pure vibes happening at the King Collins Stadium.
He said this augurs well for track and field in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The athletes wearing, if you walk and you interact with the crowd, we need to do this again. We need it at the inter-school level. We need to continue on, you know. So, I mean, it's encouraging that what we have seen, not only from visually, but hearing and interacting as well. So, it's all good.
How will the Skn Athletics build on this now going forward?
How do we build? Perhaps lengthening it for a two-day meet. That perhaps will eliminate some of the races and condense the meet a little more. I mean, this is almost like a test run for us. We are a new association as well, because when we got into office, just as we were planning the Rams Championship, of course COVID came about. So we are excited about this meet. We agreed to this type of level, but we welcome the challenge, and so far I will give us a passing grade.
A sold-out crowd witnessed the championship, cheered on the hundreds of primary school athletes as they competed for scholastic glory. I'm Andre Huey for Skn Newsline. The Sol Island Auto Supply's Connery FC and St. Peter's FC each registered their first victories of the Premier League restart when they got the better of Trafalgar South Stars and Esgrave Newtown United, respectively, on Sunday. Kyron Phillips scored for St. Peter's in the 17th minute, while Usain Slater found the back of the net at the stroke of half-time in the first minute of stoppage time. St. Peter's were reduced to 10 men with a sending-off early in the second half, forcing them to play the rest of the match with only 10 men. That affected their attack, according to St. Peter's player MJ Pemberton.
Well, we went down a man in the second half early, but we have the quality, so we expected to still put them under pressure because, you know, we have a mindset going into the latter end of the season, so we have to push on.
South Stars manager Akin Phillips believes his team can do better.
The performance was okay, but not what we wanted because we throw a lot of goals.
We had a lot of scoring opportunity. We knocked the ball how we supposed to knock the ball, but we didn't. We ain't capitalized on the chance, especially the red card Monkey got. We didn't capitalize, and that will hurt us.
Meanwhile, Connery FC came from behind to defeat Newtown United 2-1. Kimber Lawrence scored the first goal for Newtown in the 42nd minute before Kadeem Lewis and Trevor Hanley scored for Connery to give them the victory in the 52nd and 76th minute, respectively. Coach Al Richards of Connery, while happy with the win, said the team has to work on converting their chances as they could have scored more goals.
We got to do some more work in the final third for sure. We got to do some more finishing drills, you know what I mean? We're missing too much easy chances in our own 6-yard box, you know what I mean? We're just supposed to be more mindful and more, we got to think some more and be more unselfish at times. So, a little more work at the training ground, you know what I mean, in terms of finishing, and we'll be good.
Newtown's coach Earl Jones was heartened with his players' performance, even though they gave up their lead to lose the match.
Because I do believe that knowing a Newtown team, a real Newtown team, we're going all the way down until we could do something. Whatever they to win, we're going to pick them up.
The Skn FA Premier League continues this weekend with double headers starting on Friday at 6 p.m. at the Warner Park.
Welcome to the Skn Newsline Weather Report. I am Janil Boone. Here is a look at the 4-day forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. For a more detailed weather report, visit our website at www.sknnewsline.com.